coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our...
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line.
Let's go.
So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Okay, I'm not taking a turn to negative town, even though it's going to sound like it. The 2 interceptions he threw last week, those obviously have to be eliminated, and that was the focus of practice this week. But let's face it, he did throw 3 touchdown passes.
And they got the win.
So I think it was a good week for him to work on things. Had some positives, the win being first and foremost. Now he's just got to eliminate those interceptions.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's...
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Kerryon Johnson with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Cousins here on the bootleg. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Deshaun Hand, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Throwing is Cousins. He'll dump this off to Cook. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 18. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield.
Easy. Kill. Easy, alert.
Stafford. Open man is Higgins. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. First down Lions on a pickup of 13. The numbers for him from a week ago. 6 catches, 101 yards.
Third in the league in receiving yards, and that's a strong number. That means he's being consistent each and every time out.
Levante David in on the tackle. And we look now at the Lions offense.
And we expected to have already talked about this unit. We didn't get a chance to hit on the opening drive because they scored so quickly. But that's the kind of unit this is. A quick strike offense. I expect to see them taking their shots all game long. And if that's the case, we'll find ways to talk about this group.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Levante David making his presence felt in the backfield. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fix what was wrong with them in the last game.
And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 17-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination. Guys who look...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
And now out comes Minnesota. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Well, look now at the starters on the defensive side for the Lions. They played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
But when you hold someone to just 6 points in a game, the feeling that you have among your team is you're not going to lose very many of those. That's the way to get it done.
On 3rd down, Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, when we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. They were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they have to figure it out as this game moves on.
On 1st down, Swift. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Stafford. And that is caught. But the back judge right there to say incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Against the pass, they've had some issues. Ranked number 23 in the NFL right now.
They'll take that play right there each and every snap because throughout this season, they've given up some big plays. To be able to hold someone to no gain, oh yeah, they'll take that all game long.
Steps away to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Everson Griffin able to record his 5th sack of the season.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Cousins gives way to Cook, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front, so when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a 1st down.
I don't care who you put on him, he's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man, maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
The numbers a week ago for Cook. 15 carries, 96 yards.
And their success running the ball in the previous game has to give them a lot of confidence, but they also understand going against a top 5 rush defense means you have to have a lot of offense in your game plan. Misdirection, counters, power game, maybe even some quarterback run to take the heat off of the running back.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
He's been a busy man here in this 1st half as he gets it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long...
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Kerryon Johnson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That 3rd one, That's the most spectacular run he's had in the ballgame. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while. And then you get a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Well, still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
A pretty good effort there, 9 yards, but not enough. We'll likely see the punt team now on 4th down.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one
A
soon.
good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Lions will take over. So here are the Lions to take over. They are working on that very impressive 9-game win streak, looking to get it to 10 as they've got the lead here, 1st and 10.
Hey. That's me. Mike's 50, Mike. Easy. I'm coming. Hey, Mike 50. Mike is a 50. Check Mike 50. Here it comes. 59. Lucky.
They go play action here on 1st down. Being chased out left. This pass complete to Higgins. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A good pickup there, 26 yards. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Watch out. And middle.
Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 35. They'll run on 1st down. Swift. Xavier Rhodes makes the tackle.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Hey, Team 6. Mike 54. I'm coming for you.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford got this complete to the rookie out of UMass, Andy Isabella. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Check.
On 1st down, Stafford here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
21.
From the red zone now, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Here's Johnson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
On the ground, this is Johnson. And he'll be brought down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. They start the drive with Cook. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Cousins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first. They'll get a couple yards on that one. And that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Matt Bosher now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And it's fielded at the 34. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so, and isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
More than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. Don't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the 2nd quarter.
Mike 50, 32.
On 2nd down now, Swift. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down. Running game working, they'll stick with it on 1st down. They'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a 1st down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Stafford on 1st down. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. On the toss, here's Johnson. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And that will be incomplete. So now 4th down looming. Remember, these guys went for it on their last drive, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, even though it didn't work out, I would not be surprised at all if they went ahead and did it again.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Darn right.
Orbit. Mike 54. Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Alert! Watch the screen.
On 4th down, Stafford. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And they work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Stafford.
Stafford on the keeper. Intended for T.J. Hawkinson. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 2.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2.
Heavy on the edges. Hey, zoom. 54, right there. 54, Mike. Stop your whining. Mike's 54. Mike's 54. 50. Here I come.
Again, it's Stafford. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Intended for Andy Isabella. Incomplete. Sets up 4th down.
No move to get the offense off the field here. They've converted once on this drive. On 4th, they'll go again and try it once more. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down? And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And that will force a turnover on downs. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. So we've come to half. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Now Cook. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They run it again with Cook. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Deshaun Hand make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the 3rd quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Flushed out right. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline.
Johnson odds poke free. Football's out. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Stafford now to throw. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
2nd and 10, Stafford again. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. On 2nd down, Swift. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Stafford will stay out there. He'll lead his guys up to go for it on 4th down.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Yeah. Mike's 5-4.
Here we go on 4th. Stafford. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. And they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
And the throw right sideline here is complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Now, if you're a fan of punting, this game's for you. He's been out there quite a bit. That one may be his best yet.
Yeah, he certainly got his leg loose by now. It kind of reminds me of my college football coach, John Majors. He loved the punting game because he liked the positioning, the field position, and he loved to play defense.
And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. Making the stop there, Daniil Hunter.
6 man. Easy. Joker.
On second down now. Swift. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's into the clear. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 93 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And a long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
Let's go.
And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Throwing is Cousins. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. 7 yards there and a first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Back now at Ford Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Cousins. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
A 2nd down throw for Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Lets it fly for Thielen. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, this game's for you. He's been out there quite a bit. That one maybe his best yet.
Yeah, he certainly got his leg loose by now. It kind of reminds me of my college football coach, John Majors. He loved the punting game because he liked the positioning, the field position, and he loved to play defense.
And he was very fortunate there to get out of his end zone. He maybe got back to the 2-yard line. Again, it's Johnson. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves him with 3rd and just a couple. The Lions on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Now Stafford. And that is incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
They run. It's Johnson. And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. Carry on Johnson turned away on 4th down. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. They've got a 1st and 10 from the 10. To throw, Cousins. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Will Harris. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much, maybe a yard, and that's all. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. Now Stafford. A battle for it here, and this will be caught. First down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards. On 1st and 10, Stafford steps away. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era. We think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Stafford throws complete to Galladay. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. On 2nd and a couple, Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Cousins. Incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. Should rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense can crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They toss it out right to Johnson. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Now on 2nd and 13. Stafford. Open man is Higgins. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. 1st down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
Double right. 53. Ready.
2nd and 5 now. Stafford to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Stop right there. Alert, alert. 3 down.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. This pass complete to Higgins. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short.
Hey, 5-7.
They snap it to Stafford. And this is incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th. But they didn't get it.
Guaranteed, it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was trying to find Chad Beebe that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Cousins to throw it. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph, but now it'll be 3rd down. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 38-yard line. Throwing, Cousins. And his throw is incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target. And it's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, it's Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Now Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. Cousins in the offense is going to stay out there. They're going to try on 4th down. Now Cousins on 4th down. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was that they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Lions, they keep on rolling 10-0 now to start the year, and they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they're going the wrong way as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin.
Just wanna be her for your mom to your pop to the beat to the bird, man. Cut right off on the curb like I'm Barry Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my whole team. We a pot of gold. I'm a dog. I'ma need a bone for my whole team. I'ma let it go like blah. Yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like what? Whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke, no, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. Yeah, yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. No, I say you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want. Yeah, I put so my frustration, I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Masterpiece, my masterpiece, that mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you ain't right it. We break you down like a pound. I got it, don't pound us around me. I'm corrupted, flow cold and it's rugged, bump it. What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like black, yeah. And it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like what? Whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. Yeah, yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. No, I say you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want.
The young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be